Ayush from Newsable. Go ahead.
Hi Mahela, Ayush here.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So, an important win for Mumbai in the last game. So, tell us about how is the mood in the dressing room right now? How charged up is the side heading into this game against Delhi? Also, I'd like to know Hardik Pandya's status as a bowler in this tournament. Will he be allowed to bowl to brush up his bowling skills before the World T20?
Okay, so the first question, I think getting a win under our belt was very important. Where the tournament situation is for us, and I think we are as charged up the way we've started the tournament. I know we didn't play the best of cricket in the first few games, and when you're playing against quality opposition, you can't make those mistakes, and I think everyone realizes that. Even the last game, yes, we did a lot of good things, but still there's a lot of improvement to be made. And hopefully we improve on that. I mean, that's something that we will keep striving in this part of the tournament, where we know that we have to play our best cricket to be in the tournament and to be getting to that playoffs. So yeah, I think everyone's focused in that matter. With Hardik, yes, I mean, because he hasn't bowled since Sri Lanka for a longer period of time, and obviously he had another niggle, and we managed to get him through that process. I think what we're trying to do is what's best for Hardik going forward. And yes, I understand the World Cup as well, but we will see. We are talking to the management team, the Indian management team, and everyone else, and make sure that sooner he feels comfortable, we get him into his bowling program and prepare him. Whether he can bowl in the IPL or not is something that we will have to look at on a daily basis and evaluate, and then see how we progresses. But I understand all concerns, but what we need to do is what's best for Hardik and him going forward. And yes, he will be a good asset as a bowler as well. But at the moment, if he push too hard, it might be an issue where he might even struggle and might not be an asset even as a batsman. So that's something that we will have to take into account and with consideration with all concerned parties, and take it a day at a time.
Surya, you want to go next?
Yeah, hi Mahela.
Hi.
Mahela, Virat Kohli recently stepped down as Team India's T20I captain, and Rohit Sharma is a clear frontrunner to replace him. Rohit has proved himself and is recognized as one of the greatest leaders with 5 titles in MI. So if you could share a word on how have you seen him grow as a leader, and what according to you separates Rohit from rest of the captains in IPL?
I think that's a very inappropriate question, to be honest, especially during an IPL season. I think whatever happens in Indian cricket after the T20 World Cup is something for them to divulge. I understand there's a lot of names being thrown around, but at the moment, for me personally, the focus is going to be Mumbai Indians and our next 3 games, and especially the game that we have tomorrow. So I would just like to not comment on that and move on. Thanks.
Subodh?
Good morning, coach.
Morning.
Surya has always been a prolific run scorer for MI for last few seasons. But are you concerned with the way he was getting out in last few games?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. He's a very important player for us. But like many cricketers in the past, and I'm sure many in the future, all batsmen go through these kind of phases in certain tournaments, including myself in 2003 World Cup. So I think I clearly understand what he's going through, but in the nets he's batting really well. His focus is very good. So it's just him spending time out there in the middle, getting that confidence back. So yes, we will try and manage that situation, but it's not a huge concern. But we would love for him to be spending more time out there in the middle.
I'll go to Niharika next.
Hello, coach.
Yeah. Hi.
My question for you is what on support masters now? Like, how do you manage to get players like Surya Kumar and Ishan? How do you motivate them in getting back to runs? What is your formula in talking to players who haven't been scoring runs like they did in the last season?
Yeah, I think it's part and parcel of any professional cricketer's life. Especially batsmen. If you go by the ethos that the batsmen have a fraction of a second to make a decision. Sometimes you play a bad shot, you get out. Sometimes a good ball will get you out. Sometimes unfortunate incident might get you out. So the ratio of them being successful is quite low compared to a bowler who has 24 balls to redeem himself. So I think you take all that into account when you're analyzing your batsmen and certain situations, especially in a tournament like this where even shorter for us, the second half we had to make a couple of changes just to trigger a few things. Doesn't mean that these players are ignored or they've been left out. So all those conversations are happening behind the scene. Make sure that they go through their routines, they go through their practices and keep them going, and any given moment will be used against an opposition that we feel that they're comfortable as well. So it's just a process of especially at MI, our core group who's making those kind of decisions, that we will keep doing that, but doesn't mean that the quality of these players have been ignored or anything like that. It's just that we feel what's best for Mumbai particular game or at this moment is what matters for us, and we make decisions on that. And we make sure that these players are confident and they are kept in that same balance, even though if they're not on the park.
As the league is in its last phase, so how do you think, can we see the batting order changing with Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan not in form? Can we expect that Mumbai management would change the batting order over playing 11?
That's for us to think about and make tactical decisions. If I say that, it might not be a tactical move. So I mean, we've settled setups and we settled roles. We'll just keep evolving and see how we can challenge ourselves.
Shuyash, I see your hand raised again. Go ahead. Anukul, can you mute yourself again? Yeah, thanks. Shuyash,
Mahela Chris Gale yesterday pulled out of the IPL T21, citing bio-bubble fatigue. And he's an experienced campaigner, and we know how tough is it to stay in the bio bubble. So, how challenging is it to stay in the bio bubble environment, and how does the MI top brass keep their players motivated during these challenging times?
I totally agree with the amount of international cricket and other leagues happening. A lot of the guys have been in bio bubbles and been traveling quite a bit. We've tried to create an environment for our guys within our bio bubble so that they have a bit more freedom in the sense that access within the bio bubble. The facilities that we have in Abu Dhabi, the hotel, the resort. Most of the families are here with them, so we're trying to create that environment to make it much more friendlier for them, but we do understand the bio fatigue, especially with people traveling for a long time a period away from home and families. So try and strike that balance. We always have conversations with the guys, whoever feel low and all that, and try and help them as much as possible and make sure that everyone's focused on the job in hand.
Yeah, we can take probably two more questions. Aditya ji, go ahead.
My question is, this time spinners doing very well in second phase the IPL, and you have two spinners, Rahul Chahar and Krunal Pandya. Why not include other spinner?
I'm sorry, you want us to include another spinner into the team, is it? That's the question?
Yeah, Rahul Chahar and Krunal, so why not another option?
It all depends on the conditions, it all depends on the opposition, it all depends on our balance of our team, what we looking forward. tactically against opposition and all that. So yeah, I mean, we got some really good spinners in our setup, and if you feel that any time that all those aspects are being ticked off, yes, we'll look at that option.
Thank you. Subodh, your last question.
Yeah, Mahela, are you a big supporter of introduce spinners in the power play? Despite having good pace bowlers who can swing ball very much in your armory?
I think it all depends on matchups and against certain opposition conditions, all that to account. But we've always, utilized a mixed bag of spin and pace. Like you said, our pace attack always have given us that breakthroughs up front and been very aggressive. And nothing has changed this year. We've continued to do that. I think the bowling group has done really well through the season. They've been very, very good execution-wise, awareness of certain situations and creating those opportunities. So we'll keep doing that. I mean, at different games, we've utilized tactically the power play in a different ways, and we will keep looking to explore those opportunities.
Nagraj, you want to go next?
Yeah, thanks, Elias. Mahela, morning. Just wanted to check one thing. Based on the matches that have been played so far across the 3 venues in the UAE, the totals have been quite different to what they were in the last IPL and leading into the T20 World Cup. How do you look at it, the behavior of the pitches? These kind of totals which you're looking at below 115 and teams struggling to even chase them down, good enough, or the behavior of the pitches could be looked at?
I think we just need to take into account that the surfaces that we are getting this year is slightly different to what we had last year. The wickets were much fresher because coming out of COVID, there was no cricket being played. So the surfaces were better, and at the same time, they're trying to safeguard the surfaces for the World Cup as well. So you see probably extra bit of grass on the surfaces, so it's not playing truly because of that. But I think it's a challenge that all teams face in this competition, yeah, I mean, it's probably striking a better balance between bat and ball as well. So you need to tactically be aware of that and play accordingly to what we have out there, and rather than worry about it.
So just to quickly check, you said that probably they're protecting for the T20 World Cup. Do you think the behavior might change going forward in the next month?
It all depends on the surfaces, in the sense that I mean, the World Cup is still roughly about 3 weeks away, yeah, I mean, I reckon it's a World Cup, it's a neutral tournament, so they'll try and get the best possible surfaces to comply for all teams, and that has been the case, especially on neutral venues and on World Cups, ICC World Cup. So I don't see any difference to this tournament in UAE in 3 weeks.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks a lot. This concludes our pre-match press conference. Thanks, Mahela, for joining us. Thank you, everyone.